When I was suffering through my life, I always had one question. Why can't life give me what I want? Sound familiar? If the answer is yes, then you are at the right place to find the answer. So, my problem was that I was asking the wrong question. When I became aware of the fact that I am the cause of everything in my life, then I understood that the right question to ask is, how will life give me what I want? And when that happened, everything I needed started coming to me. Books, videos, seminars, blogs, all were available to answer my questions. But above all, I found that an invisible source of information is always available at my command. So I started connecting to this source, and the more I connected to it, the more it made me grow. Now, to understand the law of life, first, you need to understand what life really is in terms of its true essence. Let's take a look at the life forms on Earth with new lenses. First, let's look at life in plants and trees. As you know, there are thousands upon thousands of different types of plants that exist on Earth. But if you observe carefully and study them, you are going to find that all of them are connected to each other. At the very fundamental level, they are part of one and the same thing. Let's look at this the other way. We can say that one life is expressing itself in thousands of different ways through these plants. When you observe, you can see that there is a perfect order in every life form in plant. It has a beginning, it has a time in which it will give its fruit, it has a time when its leaves will fall, and it has a time in which it will grow new leaves. Now, let's look at the animal kingdom. The life form in animals is a higher expression of the same one life. In this kingdom, this one life is expressing itself through thousands of animal forms. Animals are always at home in their environment. They have been given a vehicle called the body, in which there is a preloaded program that dictates how they are going to react in their environment. So for example, to kill and eat a deer is not murder for a lion. It's lunch. It's in lion's nature, we can say in the program, to act in this way. And a bird doesn't need lessons on how to build a nest, just builds it because it's in the preloaded program. So, the animals are always living in the harmonious vibration of nature and expressing life. Now, let's look at the marvel expression of this one life, which is known as human beings. But before we begin, first, we must learn a little bit more about this power, so far called one life. This power is called by many names, such as God, Spirit, Energy, Universal Mind, Universal Consciousness, Infinite Intelligence, the Unified Field, etc. However, I'd like to call it the Eternal Spirit. Eternal means it always was, always is, and always will be. And spirit means super intelligent, non-physical life force that flows through everything that exists. So, the eternal spirit is expressing itself through all forms of existence and observing it at the same time. It is 100% evenly present in all places at all time, and always seeking higher and fuller expression through us. Now, let's move to human beings, the life in us, and the vehicle through which we experience it. Pay attention to this. When it came to the expression of life through human form, the Eternal Spirit did not put any program in us. Instead, it gave us the potential of an infinite number of expressions, the ability to think, and a free will to determine our own destiny. Now, before we go any further, we have to understand the fact that we are living an intelligent part of the eternal spirit. But everything else that exists is also a part of it. So it makes it that everything else that exists is also a part of us. In other words, we are connected to everything in the universe, and everything in the universe is connected to us. We are the highest expression of life, and to experience this life, we have three sides of our being. The highest side of our being is the spiritual side of us. In this side of our being, we are one with the eternal spirit. The power that is expressing itself through entire existence is the true essence of our life being. To gain a better understanding of this, sit in a relaxed state for a minute. Take a deep breath. Now, close your eyes and think of your favorite place for vacation. See yourself there. Feel the air on your face. Now, make some changes to that place. Make it look exactly the way you want it to be. You see, you are spiritually in a place that is far away from where you are right now. You made changes in that place according to your will. However, in reality, you didn't even move an inch. So, you need to understand that the you who was doing that is the universal you. It is the you that is not bound by time and space. In spirit, you become one with the eternal spirit, and everything there is becomes yours. Now, pay attention to the fact that you can think anything, which means you can experience anything spirit. So, if you think of the life you would really want to live, the things you would be doing throughout your day, that dream life, and then see yourself in your mind doing it, you are experiencing that life in spirit. If you revisit in your mind and relive it again, you would have another experience in spirit. And if you repeat it every day for a long enough time, this experience starts sinking into your subconscious mind. Then the spiritual side of you would start to transfer this experience to the lower side of your being, which are the intellectual side of you and the physical side of you. Now, the spiritual side would send energy to the physical side of your being to experience the event which in spirit you have already experienced. When this energy flows in, it goes through your intellect, and that's where the power of your mind exists. Because it's your intellect that decides what shape this energy is going to take in your life. If two people are in the same business but one is winning and the other is losing, the energy is the same, but the use of intellect shapes that energy into winning and losing. The intellectual side of us is the workshop where the formless power takes form. It is the side where our thinking and observing faculties lies. How we use our higher faculties, which are perception, will, imagination, memory, intuition, and reason, determines the quality of our life. Now, understand this. There is an unseen field of energy and information around us where infinite sets of possibilities and probabilities exist simultaneously. We have the power to call out any experience from that infinite field. The power that is flowing through us has no limits on it. So the only limits we have are what we have put on ourselves, on our awareness and understanding of the true nature of reality. When we understand the true nature of reality and align our intention to the intention of eternal spirit, we become limitless. Then there is no limit to what we can do. The lowest side of our being is physical. Our body, our life, our relationship, our bank account, etc. are all part of the physical side of our being. Everything in it is nothing but an expression of the spiritual power that flows from energy through thoughts and emotions into experiences. Our thoughts control our feelings, feelings control our behaviors, and our behavior controls our results. So, as you can see, that the universal life is expressing itself into an individual life called a human being, and that individual life is giving direction to the universal life towards a particular destination in the physical world to have an experience as an individual person. When we think certain thoughts for a long enough time, our emotional mind generates an emotion for the thought, and that emotion flows through our body, causes us to behave in a certain way. When we feel that emotion, we automatically start thinking more thoughts that are the signature of that emotion. The same thoughts create the same emotion. The same emotion creates the same behavior, which then creates more thoughts and feeling of the same natures. Then we get stuck in this loop of thinking and feeling, feeling and thinking, and our lives stays the same. When a person had an emotional experience, it changes his brain chemistry, and he pays attention to who or what caused it, and his brain takes a snapshot of that event and stored it as memory. In the same manner, our brain stores all the memories of the past. Each one of those memories has an emotional signature associated with them. The way you think and feel creates your state of being. So when you think about your problems, which are results of your past experiences, which has emotion associated with them, your entire state of being is in the past. So, if you are living by thoughts and emotions of the past, the familiar past will repeat itself in your life again and again until you change your state of being. Remember that the moment you decide to change, you have to be ready, because it's going to feel very uncomfortable. Change is the hardest thing for a human being, because change means you are going to left behind the familiar thoughts and feelings and step up into the unknown territory. When you decide to change, your survival mechanism kicks in, and you attract all kinds of thoughts for not making the change, because your body goes in an unknown vibration and it wants to return back to a familiar vibration. You will get in your mind all kinds of excuses like, you are never going to change, this isn't going to work for you, it doesn't feel like, you can start later, so much work to do, etc. etc. If you react to these thoughts as if it's true, it will lead you to the same choice, which will lead you to the same behavior, which will create the same experience, which will produce the same physical result, and you will be right back where you began. Let's get to the good part now. The answer to the question, how do we change? When you step out to make the change, it feels like all hell broke loose inside you. You run back to find a safe place. And when you get back to safety, you say it feels better. It actually means it feels familiar, because when you step out, you are in the unknown and you can't predict what's gonna happen next. And that's the scary part for most of us. In order to really make a change, you have to change your state of being, how you think and how you feel. There are 3 steps you need to follow to make it happen. Step 1. Disconnect from everything in your known world for a time. Sit in a place where you won't be disturbed. Think about this. If you had all the money you wanted and the freedom to do whatever you want to do with your life without any concern whatsoever, how would you be living your life then? What would you do with your time? What type of places you would like to visit? What type of people you would be friends with? Which type of car you would drive? Which type of house you would be living in? What kind of relationship you would be in? Think about yourself as the person who has all of it. Close your eyes and imagine yourself living that life in which you are happy, healthy, and financially independent. Pay attention to your imagination and then write it down in your own handwriting in as much detail as possible. And then read it out loud. Step 2. Every day when you wake up, first thing you should do is sit your body down in in a relaxed state for about 15 minutes or more. Free your mind from everything. Read your description of the person you want to become that you wrote, and revisit the experience in your mind again. See yourself living your dream life and try to be as present as you can in it. And don't think, just feel the emotion of the experience. Then get up as you are already that person. Do your daily work after that. And when you are done with your day, right before going to bed, sit again and repeat the same process again. Do it every day, over and over again. When you will do it, your subconscious mind will begin to take it as this is already happening, and it will begin to prepare your brain and body for the experience. Once that happens, you are in harmony with your future reality, and you don't have to rush to get it. It will come to you. It will come in ways you can never imagine. It will surprise you. Step 3. Take inspired actions. Once you have the feeling of your future in your body, you have the energy to shape your reality. You will start to attract intuition or hunches when making an important decision. You have to create a plan to change what you have with what you want. You start making one change at a time. Every help you would need to make that change would come to you at the right time. Patience is the key to freedom, but it is in our nature to be impatient. Patience is a skill that can only be learned by being patient. Generally, when we don't get the results right away, we become impatient. To make it happen faster, we try to force it, and that's where everything goes wrong. Because if you try to force it, it won't happen for you. Forcing does not make achievements happen, but trusting does. Trust the power that is flowing through and through you. Let it happen for you. Don't think the thoughts of how it will happen. Just know that it will happen, and at the right time it will happen for you. And when it happens, just enjoy every second of it. And remember that it was your mind that created it. As far as I can tell, it's all about knowing what do you really want. Seeing yourself through your inner eye already in possession of your desired good. Feeling the emotion of it as it has already happened. Working towards it. Letting go of the thoughts of how it will happen. Trusting the power within. Let it happen for you. Thank you very much for giving your time, because time is the true currency. Think about this. We don't know how much life do we have ahead of us, but we know for a fact that we only get 24 hours every day. And how we use our time makes all the difference. If you like the information that I shared with you through this video, then subscribe this channel and share this video. Thank you very much.